Okay, so a couple of things happened on AEW last night. So look, I'm not a fan of AEW. I've made this abundantly clear. If you listen to the podcast, you'll know that Martin is the AEW guy, and he's a huge AEW fan. So if he tells me to watch something, I'll watch it. If we're doing something for the show, I'll watch it. But that company, man, it's frustratingly bad. Um, to someone who I've watched a lot of TNA. Obviously, I covered it for years. I was a big WCW fan growing up, so I have like a tolerance to when this stuff. To have a tolerance to bad stuff, but I also have like a warning sign when stuff is bad. And what's frustrating about AEW is, Tony Khan's supposed to be a student of history, and he's supposed to be this savant when it comes to wrestling, but he's a moron. Legitimately, like I mean, making the same mistakes when you have a clear track record of what doesn't work, you can only say either you're a moron or you don't care. So which one is it? Either Tony Khan doesn't care or he's a complete moron. I don't know which one. What I will say is, like, obviously, look, people make a big thing out of, oh, he's a billionaire, it doesn't matter. That could be true. But a lot has happened with Dixie Carter. And look, I told this story before, but I knew Dixie Carter. And she was a lovely woman, still is. But when you would talk to her about the show, which happened more than once, you'd go out to the show and then you go backstage and you would talk and there'd be the press thing and that, and she just wouldn't want to listen to what you said. You'd be like, and I remember specifically it was the night that Drew Galloway, sorry, showed up, and she was like, "What do you think?" And I was kind of explaining the good and bad parts of it. And once you moved past what was good about it into some of the criticisms or what you would have done differently, she just stopped listening. And I think that's what's happening with Tony Khan. I think unless you want to say exactly what he wants to hear, he doesn't want to hear it. And specifically, I'm talking about some of the stuff that happened last night. So look, I tried to wipe the slate clean. New year, maybe AEW is learning. They obviously got the big contract. They're moving to smaller venues. Maybe they were going to turn the ship and go back to being a company that seems like it knows what it's doing, because frankly it hasn't. And I know a lot of people are huge fans of AEW. I know some people are probably going to be upset by this, and that's cool. Look, let me know in the comments below if you, why do you like AEW? What am I missing? Because I really love to know. Martin tries to explain it, and God bless him, he does put forward a good point. But when it comes to what we saw last night, I'm not sold by it. So we had the first simulcast of Dynamite on HBO Max, and then obviously on TV as well. So that was kind of an important night, and he wanted to set the tone. And he opened up with just a match. A match that didn't mean anything, that nobody cared about. It was just a match. And look, I'm an angled guy. I think when I watch wrestling, it's more about the story and more about what they're doing and why it's happening. A match is great, and don't get me wrong, the quote sport of wrestling is cool to see, but if it's just that, then that gets boring. And I think opening up your show that's going to be shown to a whole new audience, which is great for AEW, and then just giving them the same old, you know what? It's like, okay, well, there's nothing there, right? Then we had a very interesting segment, which is kind of why I had to do this video. Double J, Jeff Jarrett, shows up. Again, Jeff Jarrett's great. We've had him on the podcast before. And he says I made a joke with Martin. I was like, he's going to challenge for that title. And Martin's like, no, he won't. I said, no, he will. I guarantee it. I guarantee he will. And sure enough, that's what he wanted to do. He's going to challenge for the AEW title. And on the one hand, I'm like, as a TNA fan, I'm like, okay, that's actually hilarious, because Obviously, the lesson wasn't learned. I mean, look, there's two ways that you can do this. You can either have it as a title versus career. You could give them a small run and maybe build some guys that way and get some more legitimacy towards the belt, do something a little bit different. Or it could be a sign where they're just hitting the panic button and this is who Tony Khan is listening to. I don't know. Now, to take from a positive perspective on this, I think if they did do some kind of out TNA at the moment, because we've talked about on the podcast how getting rid of the X Division was kind of weird and some of the moves they made are kind of weird. So there is a hunger there for that. But at the same time, in 2025, having Jeff Jarrett in the world title picture randomly is a very weird thing to do. Like, he hasn't really been on TV that much. He hasn't had the pay-per-view spotlight on him. So out of nowhere to just be like, I'm challenging for the AEW title is a weird thing. And it's even weird to say, you know. But look, as I said, personally as a TNA fan, I kind of would like to see him with the title because it'd be hilarious. But also, it could be very good. I just don't know. But it definitely raises the TNA sense, you know, where you're like, okay, this could be real bad. So again, a weird thing to do on your first big show of the year. And then we had, I think what sums up this AEW thing, even more than what's going on with Ricochet, what's going on with the Lucha Brothers contract random negotiation, the venues having less and less people showing up, the show that makes no sense from week to week, and the social media religious war, for want of a better word, between WWE fans and AEW fans and other wrestling fans are just watching back going, what is this? This is not helping. Is the fact that Adam Copeland showed up. Finally, his leg is healed, and he comes out, the rated R superstar Cope. Listen, if you like AEW, I'm very happy for you. It's important to enjoy the things that you enjoy, but you have to be able to. Well, I mean, you don't have to if you don't want to, but to actually engage honestly about things is important. And I'm a WWE fan, but I'm a wrestling fan first and foremost, and I make no bones about it that TNA is the wrestling that I enjoy. That's what I like to watch. WWE, I've been a lifelong fan of that. AEW just doesn't do it for me. And the reason why is because of stuff like this. When it's silly, it doesn't engage in the fact that it's silly. It's living in a fantasy land. The fact that nobody was like, hey, Cope is a really bad name. Can you not just call yourself the rated R superstar, which you own? Or just Edge, the rated R Edge, or anything else? But Cope, very weird, very bad name. The fact that a group of people sat around and nobody said that out, and they went to TV with that, they made a little graphic and everything. Look, go back and watch some of the worst of TNA, and you can see where this goes. Go back and watch some of the worst of the WWE. And when I see stuff like this on AEW, which makes a big song and dance about how they're not WWE, and oh my god, it's WWE so bad, blah blah blah. What I watched last night was worse than both of them put together. And every time I stick that show on, every time I'm like, okay, I'm going to give it another chance. Martin said it was good. The internet is saying it's not as bad as people make it out to be. And then I watch it, it's like, this is worse. So, I don't know. If you guys enjoyed it, great. Let me know what I should have seen, or how I should have watched it, or why I thought it was bad and why you think it's good. Because I genuinely, I'd love to know. I think a conversation is important, and people shouting each other down and name calling and other nonsense doesn't get us anywhere. It's wrestling. It's not real. It's a product. But as a product, it's a bad one, in my opinion. But look, as I said, it started New Year. AEW kind of fell out of the gate. We'll see what WWE does on its first simulcast, its first like streaming only cast, where it's moved away from the USA network and now it's just on Netflix. And already they look like they're going to do a stellar show. But what this screamed to me, to put it very succinctly, was when TNA decided to go up against Raw for their own Monday Night Wars, and they got their brains beat in. And that's what I got from this last night. I was like, lessons have not been learned. They're going to just drive this into the sun. And look, Tony Khan said it's for the sickos, so maybe they loved it. They thought it was great. They're going to go buy a Cope shirt, which I just can't even comprehend that someone would do that. When he's literally called the rated R superstar. That's fine, just do that. But in 2025, if you wanted that, and if you wanted Jeff Jarrett as your world champion, well, I'm sure you're over the moon. But for me, next week's probably going to be a big week for WWE, so I'm looking forward to that. But guys, let us know what you thought in the comments below. See you in the next one.